This is my old phone. It's an iPhone 5S. I've had it for a good few years now, and I have to say, I absolutely love it. I think it's the perfect size, it has a half-decent camera, and it runs generally pretty smoothly. But it's definitely starting to show its age now, so I've decided I'm going to be retiring it, and I've got myself a new Google Pixel 2. Specs-wise, this thing has got a Snapdragon 835 processor, it's got 4GB of RAM, and it has a 2700 mAh battery. Now, if you don't know what any of that meant, let me just quickly explain. That Snapdragon 835 processor means that it runs really fast. That 4GB of RAM means that it will run really fast even if you have lots of things open and you're doing lots of multitasking. And that large battery means that it will run really fast for a really long length of time. And as a side note, it can also charge really fast as well. So you get the idea, this thing's fast. But it's 2017, there's not many phones being released on the market right now, which I would describe as being slow. The main reason why I bought this thing is for its camera. I've heard incredibly good things about it online and it seems to be really impressive, but I have to say all I've tested it on so far is things in my studio and my cat. So I feel like we should take it out on a bit of a trip. Now I'm going to be totally honest, I didn't really know what to expect with this one. I mean, I'm surrounded by high-end camera equipment quite a lot of the time, and I don't tend to whip out my phone to take photos simply because I often have a dedicated camera with me. But I have to say, the Google Pixel 2 has me really impressed. This is one of the first phones that I've ever owned that takes photos that don't look like they've come from a smartphone. Now, of course, if you got into some serious pixel peeping or wanted to do some color grading on it, the image would begin to break down really quickly, but straight out of the camera, they look seriously good. I mean, the HDR mode works seamlessly, the portrait mode is an absolute triumph, and it also works nicely with cats, which is hugely beneficial for someone like me, and the processing that the Pixel 2 does behind the scenes after the image has been taken I think is actually what sets this phone apart from other smartphone cameras, in that it cleans up a lot of the noise, it does a little bit of sharpening as well, but it does it in a way that looks natural. You can't really tell these processes have happened, you just end up with a cleaner looking image. And I think this is part of the reason why the Pixel 2 works so nicely in low light. I mean, it's still a smartphone, it's not exactly going to be a low light monster, but you don't end up with a horrible noisy mess like you often end up with other smartphones. All in all, I'm incredibly impressed with the Pixel 2 camera. I can't really fault it without comparing it to an SLR or something like that, which is obviously an unfair comparison. So if you do like to dabble in photography and you want to ensure that you always have a half decent camera with you, the Google Pixel 2 is definitely the way to go.
Vic, what?
Oh!